This is the solution video for section 1.8, problem number 10. All right, shown below is a graph of f of x equals x natural log x minus x. From what you know about the functions 1 through 5, pick out the one that is the derivative for x greater than 0. All right, so a couple things. Obviously, x must be greater than 0, right? And so now, this is the graph of f, right? So here's f. So now we want to look at this graph and we want to think, all right, what does the derivative mean? Well, it means the slope of the tangent line. All right, so I'm going to highlight a point here, right? And when we look at the slope of the tangent, we know that the tangent line would be horizontal, so the slope is 0. All right, now on the left of it, between 0 and 1, the slope is negative, and on the right of it, to the from 1 to infinity, all right, the slope would be positive. And so now we're thinking about which one of these graphs would have a 0 at 1. Sorry about that. Would have a 0 at 1, would be negative between 0 and 1, and would be positive to the right of 1. All right, so first of all, we think about a graph of sine. All right, obviously sine looks like this. All right, it does not have a 0 at x equals 1, right? Because the sine of 1 is not 0. So that's out. All right, 2, y equals natural log of x. All right, natural log of x looks like this, right? Okay, you should know what this graph looks like off the top of your head. It has a point at 1 comma 0. Does it have a 0 at 1? Yes. Is it negative between 0 and 1? Yes. Is it positive between or from 1 to infinity? Yes. So it looks like that's the answer. But let's go ahead and look at the other ones. All right, square root of x. It looks like this, right? You should know this graph. It has a 0 at 0, right? So that is not true. And it is always positive, right? It's always above the x-axis. So 3 is out. All right, what about y equals x squared? Obviously, you know what that graph looks like. It is 0 at 0, and then it is always positive everywhere else, right? And so that is out. All right, and then what about 3x minus 1? Well, it looks like this, right? It has a 0 where? Well, remember, this thing is equal to 0 when x is 1/3. So it has a 0 at 1/3, right? And then it is positive to the right of that, and it is negative between 0 and 1/3. But remember, it's also defined for values of x that are negative. And this one says only for positive values. And so the answer is 2.